Good afternoon. Today we are going to read through chapter 26 of Dracula by Bram Stoker. But we're not just going to be reading the words. We're going to stop and talk about interesting vocabulary words as we read it. And we're doing this live, so if you're watching this with me right now live, you can ask questions in the in the chat. What does this mean? What does that mean? Don't think you're interrupting me. It's exactly what I want you to do. It's the whole purpose of this video. To give you, if you're an advanced learner of English, to help you get a better understanding of phrases and words that you may not be familiar with. Also, when we finish the chapter, we have been bringing people in from Discord. We don't stop the video on YouTube. We bring people in and we practice some of the interesting vocabulary words. But the focus is on pronunciation, intonation, and accentuation. So if you're interested in improving your accent, sounding more natural when you speak, and also gaining a better understanding of spoken English for listening reasons, then I encourage you to stay until the end, and you can also practice with us. If you go to my Discord, there's a link in the description. You can go to my Discord group, and you can volunteer to be one of the people practicing. We can only do 2 at a time, so the rule is the first 2 people who volunteer will be the people that we choose. And Pachu, hello Pachu, how are you doing tonight? Has already volunteered, so we have one more spot available for a volunteer. But stay till the end if you want to improve your accent. We don't just talk about pronunciation. We talk about the music and the rhythm of English as well. All right, well, let's get started. Except I think I want to turn up my scary Dracula music just a little bit. There we go. All right, well, let's get started with Chapter 26, Dr. Seward's Diary. 29th of October. This is written in the train from Varna to Galatz. Last night, we all assembled at a little before the time of sunset. Each of us had done his work as well as he could, so far as thought and endeavor and opportunity go. We're prepared for the whole of our journey, and for our work when we can get to Galatz. When the usual time came round, Mrs. Harker prepared herself for a hypnotic effort, and after a longer and more serious effort on the part of Van Helsing than has been usually necessary, she sank into a trance. Usually she speaks on a hint, but this time the professor had to ask questions, and to ask them pretty resolutely, before we could learn anything, and at last her answer came. I can see nothing. We're still. There are no waves lapping. So remember, the waves lapping, that's the sound, that's like sort of the gentle sound of water moving. It's not like a wave. Waves crashing. Waves lapping means very small waves. I can hear men's voices calling near and far, and the roll and creak of oars. Creaking is a sound, like if you open an old door. That's a creak. I can hear men's voices calling near and far, and the roll and creak of oars in the rowlocks. A gun is fired somewhere. The echo of it seems far away. There's tramping of feet overhead, and ropes and chains are dragged along. What is this? There's a gleam of light. I can feel air blowing upon me. Here she stopped. She had risen as if impulsively from where she lay on the sofa, and raised both her hands, palms upwards, as if lifting a weight. Van Helsing and I looked at each other with understanding. Quincy raised his eyebrows slightly and looked at her intently, whilst Harker's hand instinctively closed round the hilt of his kukri. Oh, Alex has volunteered, so we've got Alex and Pachu tonight. All right, volunteering is closed. Quincy raised his eyebrows slightly and looked at her intently, whilst Harker's hand instinctively closed round the hilt of his kukri. There was a long pause. We all knew that the time when she could speak was passing, but we felt that it was useless to say anything, and suddenly she sat up and opened her eyes and said sweetly, "Would none of you like a cup of tea? You must all be so tired." We could only make her happy, and so acquiesced. Oh, I'm looking for words to practice tonight. Maybe we'll do acquiesce tonight. The only trouble is I can't spell it. Where was it? Acquiesced. We'll talk about the meaning in a second. Okay. To acquiesce is sort of to give up an argument. Let me get I'm going to ask ChatGPT for a little bit of help. I don't know if I'm satisfied with that definition. To accept, agree, or comply silently without protest. So I think that to me, when you would use the word acquiesce, you would be expecting a protest. All right. She bustled off to get the tea. When she had gone, Van Helsing said, "You see, my friends, here is close to land. He has left his earth chest, but he is yet to get on shore. In the night he may lie hidden somewhere. But if he be not carried on shore, or if the ship do not touch it, he cannot achieve the land. In such a case he can, if it be the night, change his form, and jump or fly on shore. Then, unless he can be carried, he cannot escape. And if he be carried, then the customs men may discover what the box contain. Thus, in fine, if he escape, not on shore tonight, or before dawn, there will be the only day lost to him. There will be the whole day lost to him. We may then arrive in time, for if he escape not at night, we shall come on him in daytime, boxed up, and at our mercy. For he dare not be his true self, awake and visible, lest he be discovered." Again, we've talked about that word lest. We've seen it many times now, and that's a signal that you put in front of a sentence, not really a sentence, in front of a phrase that names your fear. What are you afraid of? So he can't walk around because he would be afraid of being discovered, lest he be discovered. There was no more to be said. So we waited impatient until the dawn, at which time we might learn more from Mrs. Harker. Early this morning we listened with breathless anxiety for her response in her trance. The hypnotic stage was even longer in coming than before, and when it came, the time remaining until full sunrise was so short that we began to despair. To despair means to lose hope. Van Helsing seemed to throw his whole soul into the effort, At last, in obedience to his will, she made reply, "All is dark. I hear the lapping water level with me, and some creaking as of wood on wood." She paused, and the red sun shot up. "We must wait till tonight." And so it is that we are traveling towards Galatz in an agony of expectation. We are due to arrive between 2 and 3 in the morning, but already at Bucharest we are 3 hours late, so we cannot possibly get in until well after sunup. Thus we shall have 2 more hypnotic messages from Mrs. Harker. Either both may possibly throw more light onto what is happening. Later, sunset had come and gone. Fortunately, it came at a time when there was no distraction, for it had occurred whilst we are at a station. We might not have secured the necessary calm and isolation. Mrs. Harker yielded to the hypnotic influence even less readily than this morning. I'm in fear that her power of reading the Count's sensations may die away. To die away means to go away very slowly. Let's see if we can find a better definition. Something gradually gets smaller and smaller, fades, or becomes less noticeable. I'm in fear that her power of reading the Count's sensations may die away. Just when we want it most. It seems to me that her imagination is beginning to work. Whilst she's been in the trance hitherto, she has confined herself to the simplest of facts. If this goes on, it may ultimately mislead us. If I thought that the Count's power over her would die away equally with her power of knowledge, it would be a happy thought, but I'm afraid that it may not be so. When she did speak, her words were enigmatical. Enigma is a word that means something you could never understand, something impossible to understand. So if something is enigmatical, that means that it's something that you can't understand. It's mysterious. So when it says that her words were enigmatical, that means they didn't make any sense to them. They couldn't figure out what it meant. Something is going out. I can feel it pass me like a cold wind. I can hear far off, confused sounds, as of men talking in strange tongues, fierce falling water, and the howling of wolves. She stopped, and a shudder ran through her. A shudder is when you go, ooh. Increasing in intensity for a few seconds, till at the end, she shook as though in a palsy. She said no more, even in answer to the professor's imperative questioning. When she woke from the trance, she was cold and exhausted and languid. Languid means no energy, but I just want to confirm that. No energy, feeling very tired, slow, relaxed, unhurried, weak, or faint. But her mind was alert. She could not remember anything, but asked what she had said. When she was told, she pondered over it deeply for a long time and in silence. Ponder means to think about something very carefully. 30th of October, 7 a.m. We are near Galatz now, and I may not have time to write later. Sunrise this morning was anxiously looked for by us all, knowing of increasing difficulty of procuring a hypnotic trance. Procure means to find something, to get something. They produced no effect. Van Helsing began his passes earlier than usual. They produced no effect. However, until the regular time, when she yielded with a still greater difficulty, only a minute before the sun rose. Pachu says, I want to understand the text just by reading it once, but it's not happening. Yeah, it's pretty difficult. Her answer came with equal quickness. All is dark. I hear water swirling by, level with my ears, and the creaking of wood on wood. Cattle, low, far off. There's another sound, a queer one, like... She stopped and grew white, whiter still. Go on, speak. I command you, said Van Helsing in an agonized voice. At the same time, there was despair in her eyes. That means no hope in her eyes. For the risen sun was reddening even Mrs. Harker's pale face. She opened her eyes, and we all started. So that doesn't mean begin it. It means they sort of jumped with surprise. As she said, sweetly and seemingly with the utmost unconcern, "Oh, Professor, why ask me to do what you know I can't? I don't remember anything." And then, seeing the look of amazement on our faces, she said, turning one from the other to the other one with a troubled look, "What have I said? What have I done? I know nothing. Only that I was lying here, half asleep, and heard you saying, 'Go on, speak, I command you.' It seems so funny to hear you order me about, as if I were a bad child." "Oh, Madam Mina," he said sadly, "it is proof, if proof be needed, of how I love and honor you, when a word for your good, spoken most earnest than ever, can seem so strange, because it is to order her whom I am proud to obey. The whistles are sounding. We're nearing Galatz. We're on fire with anxiety and eagerness." Mina Harker's Journal. 30th of October. Mr. Morris took me to the hotel where our rooms had been ordered by telegraph. He being the one who could best be spared, since he does not speak any foreign language. The forces were distributed much as they had been at Varna, except that Lord Godalming went to the Vice-Consul, as his rank might serve as an immediate guarantee for some sort of official. We being in extreme hurry, Jonathan and the two doctors went to the shipping agent to learn particulars of the arrival of the Tsarina Catherine. Later, Lord Godalming had returned. The consul is away, and the vice-consul sick, so the routine work has been attended by a clerk, and he was very obliging. That being obliging means being very agreeable, just saying yes, okay, I'll do what you say. And offered to do anything in his power. Jonathan Harker's Journal, 30th of October. At 9 o'clock, Dr. Van Helsing, Dr. Seward, and I called upon Messrs. Mackenzie and Steinkopf, the agents of the London firm of Hapgood. They had received a wire from London in an answer to Lord Godalming's telegraphed request, asking them to show us any civility in their power. They were more than kind and courteous, and they took us at once on board the Tsarina Catherine, which lay at anchor out in the river harbor. There we saw the captain, Donaldson by name, who told us of his voyage. He said that In all, his life had never had so favorable a run. Man, he said, but it made us afeared. It made us afraid. For we expected that we should have to pay for it with some rare piece of ill luck. So he's saying it was so easy and so nice to get here with no problems that it made us scared, thinking somehow we're going to have to pay for this later with bad luck. So as to keep up the average, it's no canny to run fra London to the Black Sea with a wind ahint ya, as though the Dale himself were blowing on your sail for his ain purpose. And at the time, we could no spare a thing. Gin, we were nigh a ship or a port or a headland. A fog fell on us and travelled with us. Till then, after it had lifted and we looked out, and the Dale a thing could we see. So he's saying that it was very foggy and they couldn't see anything, but somehow the ship moved perfectly, which was weird. They didn't have any problems. We ran by Gibraltar without being able to signal until we come to the Dardanelles and had to wait to get our permit to pass. We never were within hail or aught, so they didn't have any problems the whole way, even though it was always very foggy. At first I inclined to sack off the sail and beat about till the fog was lifted, but whiles I thought that if the Dale were minded get us into the Black Sea quick, he was like to do it, whether we would or no. If we had a quick voyage, it would be no to our miscredit with the owners, or no to hurt our traffic, and the old mon who had served his ain purpose would decently grateful to us for no hindering him. Okay, well, that guy speaks in a very weird way. I think he's just describing the trip and how they got there, even though there should have been many problems because of all the fog. There were never any problems. The mixture of simplicity and cunning, of superstition and commercial reasoning, aroused Van Helsing, who said, "Mine friend, that devil is more clever than he is thought by some, and he know when he meet his match." The skipper was not displeased with the compliment and went on. When we got past the Bosphorus, the men began to grumble. So the men were complaining. Grumbling is complaining. Some of them, the Romanians, came and asked me to heave overboard a big box which had been put on board by a queer-looking old man just before we had started from London. I had seen them spear at the fellow and put out their 12 fingers when they saw him to guard them against the evil eye. Man, the superstition of foreigners is perfectly ridiculous. So they had some Romanians working on the ship, and when the Count brought the coffin, the box, to the ship, the Romanians were freaked out, and they were, I don't know, they put their 2 fingers up. I don't know how that, let's see. What if we do two finger protection from the evil eye? See what that looks like. Oh, like this. Not what I pictured. So they go like that to him because I guess it's some sort of protection. I sent them about their business pretty quick, But just after the fog closed in on us, I felt a wee bit that they anent something, though I wouldn't say it was again the big box. Well, on we went, and as the fog didn't let up for 5 days, I just let the wind carry us, for if the Dale wanted to get somewheres, well, he would fetch it up a reet. And if he didn't, well, we'd keep a sharp lookout anyhow. Sure enough, we had a fair way in a deep water all the time. And 2 days ago, when the morning sun came through the fog, we found ourselves just in the river opposite Galatz. The Romanians were wild, and wanted me right or wrong to take out the box and fling it over the river. So the Romanians on the boat were trying to convince him to throw the box into the river. I had to get angry with them about it with a handspike. And when the last 2 of them rose off the deck with his head in his hand, I convinced them that evil eye or no evil eye, the property and trust of my owners were better in my hands than in the river Danube. They had, mind ye, taken the box on the deck ready to fling in, and as it was marked Galatz via Varna, I thought I'd let it lie till we discharged in the port and get rid of it altogether. We didn't do much clearing that day, and had to remain the nicht at anchor. But in the morning, braw and early, the hour before sun-up, a man came aboard with an order written to him from England to receive a box marked for one Count Dracula. Sure enough, the matter was one ready to his hand. He had his papers a reet, and glad I was to be rid of the damn thing, for I was beginning myself to feel uneasy at it. If the devil did have any luggage aboard the ship, I'm thinking it was none other than that same. Okay, well, so when they got near their destination, somebody came onto the ship and said, "Oh, look, I have these papers. I want to take that box." And everybody was very happy when he took it. So it's not on the ship anymore. "What was the name of the man who took it?" asked Dr. Van Helsing with restrained eagerness. "I'll be telling you quick," he answered, and stepping down to his cabin, produced a receipt signed Emanuel Hildesheim. Bergenstrasse 16 was the address. We find out that this was all the captain knew, so with thanks we came away. We found Hildesheim in his office, a Hebrew of rather the Adelphi theater type, with a nose like a sheep and a fez. His arguments were pointed with specie. We doing the punctuation, with a little bargaining he told us what he knew. This turned out to be simple but important. He had received a letter from Mr. Deville of London, telling him to receive, if possible, before sunrise, so as to avoid customs, a box which would arrive at Galatz in the Tsarina Catherine. This he was to give in charge to a certain Petrov Skinsky, who dealt with the Slovaks who traded down the river to the port. He had been paid for his week by an English banknote, which had been duly cashed for gold at the Danube International Bank. When Skinsky had come to him, he had taken him to the ship and handed over the box, so as to save porterage. This was all he knew. We then sought Skinsky. So that in case you don't remember, you have seek, which means to look for something, and it's an irregular verb, so the past is sought. Seek, sought, sought. But were unable to find him. One of his neighbors, who did not seem to bear him any affection, said that he had gone away 2 days before. no one knew whither. This was corroborated by his landlord, who received by message the key of the house together with the rent due, in English money. This had been between 10 and 11 o'clock last night. We were at a standstill again. Whilst we were talking, one came running and breathlessly gasped out of the body of Skinsky. Had been found... Wait a minute. What? Whilst we were talking, one came running and breathlessly gasped out. So I guess a person, while they were talking to Skinsky, somebody came running to them and gasped out. Gasping is... So he was breathing like that because he had been running like it was an emergency. And said the body of Skinsky had been found inside the wall of the churchyard of St. Peter, and that the throat had been torn open. So the person who collected the box originally, I thought they were talking to Skinsky. Who's this guy? Whilst we were talking... Maybe this is later. I don't know. It seems like one paragraph they're talking to this guy, and the next paragraph somebody's running up to them saying he's dead. He was found with his throat ripped out. And the throat had been torn open, as if by some wild animal. Those we had been speaking with ran off to see the horror, the women crying out, "This is the work of a Slovak." We hurried away, lest we should have been in some way drawn into the affair, and so detained. So they ran away lest they become involved in the situation. They were afraid that they would become involved in the situation. The police would come, and then they would say, why were you talking to him? As we came home, we could arrive at no definite conclusion. We were all convinced that the box was on its way by water to somewhere, but where that might be, we would have to discover. With heavy hearts, we came home to the hotel, to Mina. When we met together, the first thing was to consult as to taking Mina again into our confidence. Things are getting desperate, and it is at least a chance, though a hazardous one. As a preliminary step, I was released from my promise to her. Mina Harker's journal, 30th of October evening. They were so tired and worn out and dispirited that there was nothing to be done till they had some rest, so I asked them all to lie down for half an hour, whilst I should enter everything up to the moment. I feel so grateful to the man who invented the traveller's typewriter, and to Mr. Morris for getting this one for me. I should have felt quite astray doing the work if I had to write with a pen. It's all done. Poor dear Jonathan. What he must have suffered. What he must be suffering now. He lies on the sofa hardly seeming to breathe, and his whole body appears in collapse. His brows are knit. His face is drawn with pain. Poor fellow. Maybe he's thinking, and I can see his face all wrinkled up with the concentration of his thoughts. Oh, if I could only help it all. I shall do what I can. I've asked Dr. Van Helsing, and he's got me all the papers that I have not yet seen. Whilst they're resting, I shall go over all carefully, and perhaps I may arrive at some conclusion. I shall try. I shall follow the professor's example, and think without prejudice on the facts before me. Mohammed says hello. Hello, Mohammed. How are you doing tonight? I do believe that under God's providence, I have made a discovery. I shall get the maps and look over them. And by the way, look over is a phrasal verb that means to examine something. I'm more than ever sure that I'm right. My new conclusion is ready, so I shall get our party together and read it. They can judge it. It is well to be accurate, and every minute is precious. Mina Harker's memorandum entered in her journal. Oh, by the way, if you wouldn't mind pressing the like button, I think that might help a little bit with my channel. And if you're not subscribed, I think you should subscribe. Please. Ground of inquiry. Count Dracula's problem is to get back to his own place. He must be brought back by someone. This is evident, for he had the power to move himself as he wished. He could go either as man or wolf or bat, or in some other way. He evidently fears discovery or interference in the state of helplessness in which he must be, confined as he is between dawn and sunset, in his wooden box. B. How is he to be taken? Here is a process of exclusions may help us. By road, by rail, by water, by road. There are endless difficulties, especially in leaving the city. There are people, and people are curious and investigate. A hint, a surmise is like a guess. A doubt as to what might be in the box would destroy him. There are, or there may be, customs or octroi officers to pass. His pursuers might follow. This is his highest fear, and in order to prevent his being betrayed, he has repelled, so far as he can, even his victim, me. By rail. There's no one in charge of the box. It would have to take its chance of being delayed, and delay would be fatal, with enemies on the track. True, he might escape at night. But what would he be if left in a strange place with no refuge that he could fly to? This is not what he intends, and he does not mean to risk it. By water. 3. By water. Here is the safest way, in one respect, but with most danger in another. On the water he is powerless, except at night. Even then, he can only summon fog. Summon means call. Bring it to call something forward to you. He can only summon fog and storm and snow and his wolves. But were he wrecked, the living water would engulf him, helpless, and he would indeed be lost. He could have the vessel drive to land, but if it were unfriendly land wherein he was not free to move, his position would still be desperate. We know from the record that he was on the water, so what we have to do is to ascertain what water. To ascertain something means to find the information, to figure something out. But I think I just want to maybe get a better definition. To find something out or discover something through inquiry, typically through investigation or inquiry. Okay. Not a bad definition from me. We know from the record that he was on the water, so what we have to do is to ascertain what water. So they know that he's on water somewhere. They just have to figure out where, a river, a lake. The first thing is to realize exactly what he has done as yet. We may then get a light on what his task is to be. Firstly, we must differentiate between what he did in London as part of his general plan of action when he was pressed for moments and had to arrange as best he could, Secondly, we must see as well as we can surmise, that means guess, as well as we can surmise it from the facts we know of, what he's done here. As to the first, he evidently intended to arrive at Galatz and sent envoys to Varna to deceive us, lest we should ascertain his means of exit from England. So now we have two fancy words that we've already talked about in one sentence. Lest, that's a signal that you put in front of a phrase to mean, I'm afraid this is going to happen. And so the Count pretended to be going one place, but he really arrived at a different place, lest they should ascertain, lest they should figure out his means of exit from London, how he escaped. His immediate and sole purpose was to escape. The proof of this is the letter of instructions sent to Emanuel Hildesheim to clear and take away the box before sunrise. There's also the instruction to Petrov Skinsky. These we must only guess at, but there must have been some letter or message since Skinsky came to Hildesheim. That so far his plans were successful we know. The Tsarina Catherine made a phenomenally quick journey, so much so that Captain Donelson's suspicions were aroused. But his superstition united with his canniness played the Count's game for him. He ran with his favoring wind through fogs, and all till he brought up blindfolded at Galatz. The Count's arrangements were well made, has been proved. Hildesheim cleared the box, took it off, and gave it to Skinsky. Skinsky took it, and here we lose the trail. We only know that the box is somewhere on the water, moving along. The customs and the octroi, that must be some kind of police in Romania. If there be any, have been avoided. Now we come to what the Count must have done after his arrival on land at Galatz. The box was given to Skinsky before sunrise. At sunrise, the Count could appear in his own form. Here we ask why Skinsky was chosen to aid in the work. In my husband's diary, Skinsky is mentioned as dealing with the Slovaks who trade down the river to the port. And the man's remark at the murder was the work of a Slovak, showed a general feeling against his class. The Count wanted isolation. My surmise, again that means guess, that in London the Count decided to get back to his castle by water, as the most safe and secret way. He was brought from the castle by Sgani, and probably they delivered their cargo to Slovaks, who took the boxes to Varna, where they were shipped to London. Thus the Count had knowledge of the persons who could arrange their service. When the box was on land, before sunrise or after sunset, he came out from his box, met Skinsky, and instructed him what to do as to arranging the carriage of the box up some river. When this was done, he knew that all was in train. He blotted out his traces, as he thought, by murdering his agent. I've examined the map and find that the river most suitable for the Slovaks to have ascended is either the Pruth or the Sereth. I read in the typescript that in my trance I heard cows low on the water, swirling level with my ears and the creaking of wood. The Count in his box, then, was on a river in an open boat, propelled probably either by oars or poles, for the banks are near, and it's working against stream. There would be no such if floating downstream. Of course, it may not be either the seraph or the proof, but we may possibly investigate further. Now, of these two, the proof is the more easily navigated, but the seraph is, at Fundu, joined by the Bistritza, which runs up round the Borgo Pass. The loop makes it manifestly close to Dracula's castle as can be got by water. Mina Harker's journal continued. When I had done reading, Jonathan took me in his arms and kissed me. The others kept shaking me by both hands. And Dr. Van Helsing said, "Our dear Madam Mina is once more our teacher. Her eyes have been where we were blinded. Now we are on track once again. And this time we may succeed. Our enemy is at his most helpless. And if we can come on him by day, on the water, our task will be over. He has a start, but he is powerless to hasten. Hasten means hurry up. So he cannot be in a hurry. And he may not leave this box, lest those who carry him may suspect. For them to suspect would be to prompt them to throw him into the stream, where he perish. Is it that easy? Why don't they just do that? Throw him into the water. This he knows, and will not. Now, men, to our council of war, for here and now we must plan what each and all shall do. I shall get a steam launch and follow him, said Lord Godalming, and I, horses to follow on the bank, lest by chance he land, said Mr. Morris. That word lest really keeps appearing in this chapter. Good, said the professor, both good, but neither must go alone. There must be force to overcome force, if need be. The Slovak is strong and rough, and he carries rude arms. All the men smiled, for amongst them they carried a small arsenal. Said Mr. Morris, I've brought some Winchesters. Winchesters are guns, pistols. They're pretty handy in a crowd, and there may be wolves. The Count, if you remember, took some of other precautions. He made some requisitions on others that Mrs. Harker could not quite hear or understand. We must be ready at all points. Dr. Seward said, I think I had better go with Quincy. We've been accustomed to hunt together, and we two, well armed, will be a match, whatever may come along. You must not be alone, Art. It may be necessary to fight the Slovaks, and a chance thrust, for I don't suppose these fellows carry guns, would undo all our plans. There must be no chances this time. We shall not rest until the Count's head and body have been separated, and we are sure he cannot reincarnate. He looked at Jonathan as he spoke, and Jonathan looked at me. I could see that the poor dear was torn about in his mind. Of course he wanted to be with me, but then the boat service would most likely be the one which would destroy the vampire. Why did I hesitate to write that word? He was silent a while, and during his silence, Dr. Van Helsing spoke. Friend Jonathan, this is to you for twice reasons. First, because you are young and brave and can fight, and all energies may be needed at the last. And again, that is your right to destroy him. That which has wrought such woe. Woe means worries or problems or sadness. That which has wrought such woe to you and yours. Be not afraid, for Madam Mina, she will be in my care, if I may. I'm old, my legs are not so quick to run at once, and I'm not used to ride so long or to pursue as need be, or to fight with lethal weapons. but I can be of other service. I can fight in other way, and I can die, if need be, as well as younger men. Now, let me say what I would is this. While you, my Lord Godalming and friend Jonathan, go in your so swift little steamboat up the river, and whilst John and Quincy guard the bank where perchance means like maybe, he might be landed, I will take Madam Mina right into the heart of the enemy's country. Whilst the old fox is tied in his box, floating on the running stream whence he cannot escape to land, where he dares not raise the lid of his coffin, lest his Slovak carriers should in fear leave him to perish, we shall go in the track where Jonathan went, from Bistritz over the Borgo, and find our way to the castle of Dracula. Here, Madam Mina's hypnotic power will surely help. We shall find our way, all dark and unknown otherwise, after the first sunrise, when we are near that fateful place. We've talked about the word fate before, meaning like your destiny. To meet your fate means to die. And something that is fateful, not faithful, this is not the word faith, it's fate. That means a place where destiny happens. And sometimes it could mean where somebody dies. But let's just check. Just want to confirm. Significant or far-reaching consequences, decided by fate or destiny, ominous or foreboding. Okay, it doesn't mean die, but I think a lot of times you see that in connection with dying. There's much to be done, and other places to be made sanctify, so that the nest of vipers are snakes, be obliterated. Here Jonathan interrupted him hotly. Do you mean to say, Professor Van Helsing, that you would bring Mina, in her sad case and tainted as she is with that devil's illness, right into the jaws of his death trap? Not for the world. Not for heaven or hell. He became almost speechless for a minute, and then went on. Do you know what the place is? Have you seen that awful den of hellish infamy? You have famous, you have the word famous, which I'm sure you know, but infamous or infamy means famous for very bad reasons. So Dracula's castle is very famous, but it's for very bad reasons. With the very moonlight alive with grisly shapes. Pachu's asking about sanctify. That word you see that word in saints like Saint Mary, Saint John, Saint Joseph. That means like you've probably seen that, right, Pachu? Saint this, saint that. That means it's a holy person, a very special person, and that S-A-N-C-T, that means like holy. So when they say to sanctify a place, it kind of means like to call God to clean the place. Where was that? He says, there is much to be done and other places to be made sanctify. Well, the professor speaks, English is not his first language. You could use, sanctify is a verb already. So, he could just say other places to sanctify, other places to ask God to clean. He became almost speechless for a minute, and then went on. Do you know what this place is? Have you seen that awful den of hellish infamy, with the very moonlight alive with grisly shapes, and every speck of dust that whirls in the wind a devouring monster in embryo? Have you felt the vampire's lips upon your throat? He turned to me, and his eyes lit on my forehead. He threw up his arms with a cry. "Oh, my God! What have we done to have this terror upon us?" And he sank down on the sofa in a collapse of misery. The professor's voice, as he spoke in clear, sweet tones, which seemed to vibrate in the air, calmed us all. "Oh, my friend, it is because I would save Madam Mina from that awful place that I would go. God forbid that I should take her into that place. There is work, wild work, to be done before that place can be purified." Pachi is asking about the word devouring. Devour means to eat something very quickly. Devour it until it's all gone. And where did they use the word devour? A devouring monster. So like a monster that just eats everything until it's gone. "Oh, my friend, it's because I would save Madam Mina from that awful place that I would go. God forbid that I should take her into that place. There is work, wild work, to be done before that place can be purified. Remember that we are in terrible straits. If the Count escape us this time, he is strong and subtle and cunning, and he may choose to sleep with him. He may choose to sleep him for a century, and then in time our dear one," he took my hand, "would come to him and keep him company, and would be as those others that you, Jonathan, saw. You've told us of their gloating lips. You heard their ribald laughter as they clutched the moving bag that the Count threw to them. You shudder, and well it may be. Forgive me that I make you so much pain, but it is necessary. My friend, it is not a dire need for that which I am giving. Possibly my life. If it were anyone that went into that place to stay, it is I who would have to go to keep them company." "Do as you will," said Jonathan with a sob that shook him all over. "We are in the hands of God." Later, oh, it did me good to see the way that these brave men worked. How can women help loving men when they are so earnest and so true and so brave? And too, it made me think of the wonderful power of money. What can it not do when basely used? I felt so thankful that Lord Godalming is rich, and both he and Mr. Morris, who also have plenty of money, are willing to spend it so freely. For if they did not, our little expedition could not start, either so promptly or so well equipped. As it will within another hour. It is not 3 hours since it was arranged what part each of us was to do. And now Lord Godalming and Jonathan have a lovely steam lunch with Steam up ready to start at a moment's notice. Dr. Seward and Mr. Morris have half a dozen good horses well appointed. We have all the maps and appliances of various kinds that can be had. Professor Van Helsing and I are to leave by the 11:40 train tonight for Veresti, where we are to get a carriage to drive the Borgo Pass. We're bringing a good deal of ready money, and we are to buy a carriage and horses, and we shall drive ourselves, for we have no one whom we can trust in the matter. The professor knows something of a great many languages, so we shall get on all right. We've all got arms, even for me, a large bore revolver. Jonathan would not be happy unless I was armed like the rest. Alas, I cannot carry one arm that the rest do. The scar on my forehead forbids that. What she's referring to is the crucifix. She can't carry that. She can carry a gun, but she can't carry a crucifix. Dear Dr. Van Helsing comforts me by telling me that I am fully armed, as there may be wolves. The weather is getting colder every hour, and there are snow flurries which come and go as warnings. Later, it took all my courage to say goodbye to my darling. We may never meet again. Courage, Mina. The professor is looking at you keenly. His look is a warning. There must be no tears, unless it may be that God will let them fall in gladness. Jonathan Harker's Journal, 30th of October, night. I'm writing this in the light from the furnace door of the steam launch. Lord Godalming is firing up. He's an experienced hand at the work, and he has for years a launch of his own on the Thames, and another on the Norfolk boards. I think by launch they mean a boat, a particular boat. Regarding our plans, we finally decided that Mina's guess was correct, and that if any waterway was chosen for the Count's escape back to his castle, the Sereth and the Bistritza at its junction would be the one. We took it that somewhere about the 47th degree north latitude would be the place chosen for crossing the country between the river and the Carpathians. We have no fear in running at good speed up the river at night. There's plenty of water, and the banks are wide enough apart to make steaming, even in the dark, easy enough. Lord Godalming tells me to sleep for a while, as it is enough for the present for one to be on watch. But I cannot sleep. How can I, with the terrible danger hanging over my darling, and her going out into that awful place? My only comfort is that we are in the hands of God. Only for that faith it would be easier to die than to live, and so be quit of all the trouble. Mr. Morris and Dr. Seward were off. Remember that word off sometimes means leaving, so they left. Mr. Morris and Dr. Seward were off. They left on their long ride before we started. They are to keep up the right bank, far enough off to get on higher lands, where they can see a good stretch of the river and avoid the following. Pachu says the sentences are long. Yeah, they are. Following of its curves. They have for the first stages 2 men to ride and lead their spare horses. Spare means extra. 4 and all, so as not to excite curiosity. When they dismiss the men, which shall be shortly, they shall leave themselves, look after the horses. It may be necessary for us to join forces. If so, they can mount our whole party. One of the saddles has a movable horn and can be easily adapted for Mina if required. It is a wild adventure we're on. Here, as we are rushing along through the darkness with the cold from the river seeming to rise up and strike us, with all the mysterious voices of the night around us, it all comes home. We seem to be drifting into unknown places and unknown ways, into a whole world of dark and dreadful things. Godalming is shutting the furnace door. 31st of October. Still hurrying along. The day has come and Godalming is sleeping. I am on watch. The morning is bitterly cold. The furnace heat is grateful, though we have heavy fur coats. As yet we have passed only a few open boats, but none of them had on board any box or package or anything like the size of the one we seek. The men were scared every time we turned our electric lamp on them and fell on their knees and prayed. 1st of November. No news all day. We found nothing of the kind we seek. We have now passed into the Bistritza, and if we are wrong on our surmise, our chance is gone. We have overhauled every boat, big and little. Early this morning, one crew took us for a government boat and treated us accordingly. We saw in this a way of smoothing matters. So they're trying to inspect all the boats going up the river, and they're always frightened. The people piloting the boats, driving the boats, are always scared when they turn on their lights and say, "Hey, come over here." And at one point, one of the boats thought that they were the government. And they said, "Oh, this is a good idea. We'll pretend to be the government." Pachi says, how do you increase reading comprehension? What are the points you have to consider? I think it goes slowly, but I think that once you read a sentence, if you could try to say it in if you go back and try to say it in simpler words, if you can repeat the sentence to yourself in simpler words, then you understand the sentence. And if you can't, then you don't understand the sentence, and you have to figure out why. We saw in this a way of smoothing matters. So, at Fundu, where the Bistritza runs into the Sereth, we got a Romanian flag, which we now fly conspicuously. Conspicuously means everybody can see it. And the opposite, inconspicuous, that's a pretty common word. That means trying not to be seen, trying not to be noticed. With every boat which we had overhauled since then, this trick had succeeded, and we had every deference shown to us. So now they're flying a Romanian flag, and they tell the boats to stop, and the boat drivers see the flag and they think it's the government. And now it's been very easy for them to inspect the boats. Some of the Slovaks tell us that a big boat passed them, going at a more than unusual speed, and she had a double crew on board. This was before they came to Fundu, so they could not tell us whether the boat turned into the Bistritza or continued up the Sereth. At Fundu we could not hear any such boat, so she must have passed there in the night. I'm feeling very sleepy. The cold is perhaps beginning to tell upon me, and nature must have rest sometimes. Godalming insists that he shall keep the first watch. God bless him for all his goodness to poor dear Mina and me. Pachu wrote Romania is a country, Slovakia is a country. right next to each other. Second of November morning. It is broad daylight. That good fellow would not wake me. He says it would have been a sin to, for I slept peacefully, and he was forgetting my trouble. It seems brutally selfish to me to have slept so long, and to let him watch all night, but he was quite right. I'm a new man this morning. And as I sit here to watch him sleeping, I can do all that is necessary both to minding the engine, steering, and keeping watch. I can feel that my strength and energy are coming back to me. I wonder where Mina is now, and Van Helsing. They should have got to Veresti about noon on Wednesday. It would take them some time to get the carriage and horses, so if they started and traveled hard, they would be about now at the Borgo Pass. God guide and help them. I am afraid to think what may happen. If we could only go faster. But we cannot. The engines are throbbing and doing their utmost. I wonder how Dr. Seward and Mr. Morris are getting on. There seem to be endless streams running down the mountains into this river. But as none of them are very large at present, at all events, though they are doubtless terrible in winter and when the snow melts, the horsemen may not have much obstruction. I hope that before we get to Strasbourg, we may see them, for if by that time we have not overtaken the Count, it may be necessary to take counsel together what to do next. Dr. Seward's Diary. 2nd of November. 3 days on the road. No news, and no time to write, if there had been, for every moment is precious. We've had only the rest needful for the horses, but we are both bearing it wonderfully. Those adventurous days of ours are turning up useful. We must push on. We shall never feel happy till we get the launch in sight again. 3rd of November. We heard at Fundu that the launch had gone up the Bistritza. I wish it wasn't so cold. There are signs of snow coming, and if it falls heavy, it will stop us. In such case, we must get a sledge and go on, Russian fashion. 4th of November. Today we heard of the launch having been detained by an accident when trying to force a way up the rapids. The Slovak boats get up all right by aid of a rope and steering with knowledge. Some went up only a few hours before. Godalming and his amateur fitter himself, evidently it was he who put the launch in trim again. Finally, they got up the rapids all right with local help and are off on the chase afresh. I fear that the boat is not any better for the accident. The peasantry tell us that after she got up the smooth water again, she kept stopping every now and again, so long as she was in sight. We must push on harder than ever. So there you have push on. So you have on meaning confuse and push like working hard, going forward, even though it's like you're pushing something heavy, but you have to continue. We must push on. Our help may be wanted soon. 31st of October. Arrived at Veresti at noon. The professor tells me that this morning at dawn he could hardly hypnotize me at all, and all I could say was dark and quiet. He is off now buying a carriage and horses. He says that he will later on try to buy additional horses so that we may be able to change them on the way. We have something more than 70 miles before us. The country is lovely and most interesting. If only we were under different conditions, How delightful it would be to see it all. If Jonathan and I were driving through it alone, what a pleasure it would be to stop and see people and learn something of their life, and to fill our minds and memories with all the color and picturesqueness of the whole wild, beautiful country and the quaint people. But alas. Later, Dr. Van Helsing has returned. He's got the carriage and horses, and we are to have some dinner to start in an hour. The landlady is putting us up a huge basket of provisions. It seems enough for a company of soldiers. The professor encourages her and whispers to me that it may be a week before we can get any food. He's been shopping too, and he's sent home such a wonderful lot of fur coats and wraps, and all sorts of warm things. There will not be any chance of our being cold. We shall soon be off. I'm afraid to think of what may happen to us. We're truly in the hands of God. He alone knows what may be, and I pray him, with all the strength of my sad, humble soul, he will watch over my beloved husband, that whatever may happen, Jonathan may know that I loved him and honored him more than I can say, and that my latest and truest thought will be always for him. All right, that was the end of chapter 26, but don't go away, because now we're going to bring in Alex and Pachu, and we are going to practice pronunciation, intonation, and accentuation, while also practicing some of the interesting vocabulary words that we talked about during the chapter. And this next chapter, chapter 27, is the final chapter. So we've almost finished this book. We'll probably finish it tomorrow night. Okay, so I'm going to take a few minutes break. It will take a few minutes because I have to organize the vocabulary words, get the definitions, make some examples. It would be like 2 or 3 minutes. And then we'll return, and Pachu and Alex will join us on Discord, and we will continue practicing. So if you want to improve your listening, if you want to improve your pronunciation, then don't go away. Okay, I'm back, and my microphone's not on mute. That's good. So we'll turn off the music, and we'll bring up our document for today. Let's see. Make sure everybody can see. Okay, now we'll join Pachu and Alex on Discord. And if you ever want to volunteer and practice with us, there's a link to the Discord group in the description. And the first two people to volunteer at the beginning of the video will be the two people who can practice. Let's see. Hello.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing today, Pachu?
Great.
Great. Oh, that was beautiful. Alex, can you hear me? Oh, Alex is on mute.
Yes, I can. Yeah,
Okay, good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm doing good. Thanks.
That's good. Okay, I just want to say something before we start, and that
Mhm.
since we're finishing this, I'll probably read this tomorrow night, and we'll finish the book tomorrow night. But the next thing, I want to try something a little bit different for the next one, and that is, let me just open something here. Uh, I'm just putting something up on the screen here. So what I was thinking we could start doing, but it would require someone to commit to be here at a certain time, is to can you see the comic book that I have up here? Uh, these comic books,
Yes.
they're all dialogue. So if maybe one of you could agree to meet at the same time as we started this, which was, well, that was 1.5 hours ago. That's 5 o'clock my time, 5 p.m. my time. Then we can actually just practice the dialogue from the beginning. So you can read along. We can practice the pronunciation, the intonation for a couple of hours, just reading through this, and then of course there would be a lot of vocabulary word. I don't know if either one of you can promise to be here on Saturday at that time, but if you can, then we can
Yeah,
actually practice just reading dialogue for a few hours.
Yes. Yes, it
that,
is okay.
that,
Okay.
yeah, it's okay. We'll try to do it. We'll
Okay,
try.
we'll
Yeah,
give it a shot. It's an experiment. I don't know how it's going to work, but we'll give it a shot.
we'll
Okay.
give it a go. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I think it is like Marvel's comic book or
Yeah,
DC.
I just find these on a website that has like old comic books with no copyright anymore. So they're old comic books from the 1950s with no copyright. So I can use them without getting in trouble.
Uh,
So we'll give it a shot. We'll try.
I have also dream to read this kind of book because I have seen many years ago some are recommending comic book, but I do not understand the long age or the uh, so it will be very good if I read.
Yeah, it's more, I guess, it's more natural language because it's more conversational language than it is the formal writing of a book. So I think as long as I have one of you or somebody to read, so we can talk about the pronunciation and all of that, then it would be interesting. But if it's just me reading it, that would be boring. So that's why I need one of you to be here when we start.
Okay, yeah,
You understand?
new style. Okay, yes.
Okay, so it would just be you or whoever else talking the entire time, and I just explain words and help you pronounce them.
Okay, okay, new style. Okay,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
new thing. We're trying a new thing.
new
Okay.
thing.
Alex, do you see the first word on our list today? Are you watching the screen? Are you able to watch the screen?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. What is the first word today?
Acquiesces.
Okay, it's a little bit difficult to pronounce. Acquiesce.
Acquiesces. Acquiesces. Yeah.
Acquiesce.
Acquiesces.
Acquiesce. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen that word before? Acquiesce.
No, as I remember, maybe I can't remember. Yeah. Oh, yes. Acquiesce here, it means accept or agree or must
Yes.
comply.
Yes, it's
Uh, I
usually used. Almost like give up. I think it's kind of like give up and agree. Like stop fighting and agree. Like okay, okay, you win. Do you
okay.
understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So usually you use that word when you're expecting someone to say no, but then they say, "Oh, they acquiesced. They agreed." I don't think they wanted to do it, but they agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that word before, Pachu? Acquiesce?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you understand what it means? Now that I've explained it, or is it still unclear?
Sir, can you explain again, sir? I
It's
did
like
not.
give up and agree. So
Okay.
so
Okay.
I told Pachu to practice for 2 hours, and he said no, but eventually he acquiesced. Like at first he didn't want to do it, but now he agrees.
Okay. Yes, got
Does
it.
that
Yeah.
make sense? To accept, to
Yes.
agree, or to comply silently without protest, often reluctantly. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Pachu,
Now clear.
can you read the first sentence? What does it say?
After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
Okay, there are three syllables in that word, and one syllable finishes with a vowel sound, and one syllable starts with a vowel sound. Acquiesced.
Acquiesce.
What happens when one syllable finishes with a vowel sound and the next syllable starts with a vowel sound?
So we have to make longer
Okay.
the first sound.
Okay. So
And
how
E.
should you say that?
So acquiesced.
Acquiesced. Acquiesced.
Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. Alex, can you say that word?
Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. Acquiesced.
Acquiesced.
Yeah,
Okay. Acquiesced.
you have to put like an extra e in there to separate the
Yeah.
two
Yeah. Yeah.
syllables. Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. Acquiesced. Okay.
Alex, can you say the first three words of that phrase? What is it?
After some discussion,
Okay, what would you say is maybe the most important word in that sentence or in that phrase?
discussion.
After some discussion, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think really the word is after.
After I was going to say that, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
After some discussion, yeah.
Okay, now in that word after, which syllable has all of the sound?
A- Af, after,
After. Okay.
af, after, yeah.
Okay. So we'll make that the big sound of the phrase. And the other
Mhm.
words maybe we'll make very small. After some discussion. Well, after some discussion.
Okay.
Try it just with after.
After some discussion,
After some discussion. So we'll make the other words small. After some
mhm.
discussion.
After some discussion, yeah.
Pachu, can you say that?
After some discussion.
Okay. Now in the next phrase, Pachu, can you read the next three words?
He finally acquiesced.
Acquiesced. Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. He
Ac-
finally acquiesced.
What do you think is the most important? What are there? Is there more? Do you think there could be more than one important word in that phrase?
Yes.
Which words do you think are important?
Finally and acquiesced.
Okay, now when you say the word finally, which word has all of the sound? Finally.
Fine.
Fine.
Fine. Finally.
Fine.
Fine.
Finally. Say it like that. Finally.
Fine. Finally. Finally.
Finally.
Mm.
Acquiesced. Acquiesced.
Finally acquiesced. Acquiesced.
Quest or quiesced?
Acquiesced. Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. Which word do you, which syllable do you hear all of the sound in? Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. Acquiesced.
Quiesced.
As
Quiesced. Quiesced. Acquiesced.
weest.
Est.
Q.
Est.
I.
Est. Acquiesced.
Qui. Quiesced. Qui.
No, that would be acquiesced. Acquiesced. Which syllable has all of the sound? Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. Acquiesced. Yeah, final.
Final one.
Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. Acquiesced.
Can you say he finally acquiesced?
He finally acquiesced.
Okay, but you're saying two syllables, but it has three syllables. Acquiesced. Acquiesced.
A. A. Acquiesced.
Say a.
A.
Say qui.
Qui.
Equi.
Acqui.
Est.
Ext.
Acquiesced.
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 He finally acquiesced.
He finally acquiesced.
You're saying two syllables, but there are three syllables. Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. He finally acquiesced.
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 After some discussion, he finally acquiesced.
After some discussion, he finally acquiesced.
You're saying two syllables, but it's three syllables. Acquiesced.
Acquiesced.
That was good. Okay. How would you say acquiesced plus two plus his?
He finally quest. Finally quest.
Acquiesced. Finally acquiesced.
He finally acquiesced.
Acquiesced.
He finally acquiesced.
Three syllables. You have to give me three syllables. Acquiesced.
Acquiesced.
Well, I'm going to write it in the. You're not reading, right? You're just. Are you reading it?
Yeah, I'm throwing. No, I am throwing sound.
Okay, but I'm going to.
My
This one I'm going to write though, because you're really having a problem with it. So that's
yes.
est. Oh, make this big, like that. Acquiesced. Do you see that? I'm writing that in Discord. Acquiesced.
Discord. So yes.
Acquiesced.
Acquiesced.
Uh-huh. Can you say acquiesced plus to plus his?
Uh, so
Acquiesced to his.
okay. So acquiesced to his
To
to
so
his.
acquiesced to his. Acquiesced to his.
Acquiesced to his.
You have to say 3 syllables. You're only saying 2. But so you think about that, okay? And I'm going to move to Alex, okay? Alex, can you say he finally acquiesced?
He finally acquiesced.
Can you say to his? He finally acquiesced to his.
He finally acquiesced to his.
To his. To his. To his.
To his, yeah. To his, yeah.
After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his.
After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his.
Okay. What are the final 1, 2, 3, 4 words?
To his friend's request for help.
What do you think would be the important words in that phrase?
To his friend request.
Okay, friend's request. Friends is just
And
one
I think
syllable.
help as well.
What? Can you repeat that, please?
And I think help as well.
Okay. All right. In request, which syllable has all of the sound? Request.
Request. Quest.
Quest. Okay.
Request. Yeah.
Request.
Quest. Yeah.
Can you say friend's request?
Friend's request.
Friend's request.
Friend's request.
Friend's request for.
Friend's request for.
Friend's request for help.
Friend's request for help.
He finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
He finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
Okay. After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friends for help.
Okay, his friend's
Oh,
request
sorry.
for help.
Yeah, I forget.
That's okay.
Request. I said again. After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
Okay, good. Pachu, you wanted to try acquiesced again? Try to do 3 syllables.
Acquiesced.
You're
Acquiesced.
still doing 2 syllables, but it's 3 syllables. Acquiesced.
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 Okay. Can you say his friend's request for help?
His friend's request for help.
Okay. We're going to try something a little bit different today. This is in preparation for what we're going to do in a few days, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make all of these important syllables high, okay? They're all going to be high, except for the final one. We'll make it low. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pronounce all of the accented syllables high, and then we'll start moving down so we'll say after some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help. So we're going to say all of the syllables high, okay, except for the last one. We're going to say low. Panchu, can you say after some discussion? So you just start high and go low to discussion. After some discussion.
After some discussion.
He finally acquiesced.
He finally acquiesced.
Okay, and then we're going to go down with two is he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
He finally acquiesced to his friend for help.
His friend's request for help.
He finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
Mm-hmm. Alex, can you try that? We're just going to make all the important accented syllables
Okay,
high. After
I
some
got you.
what?
I got you.
Okay.
After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
Okay, but just help goes down for help.
Oh, for help, yeah, for help, yeah.
After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
Uh, Alex, can you make a when acquiesce question?
Yeah. Okay, what did he
When, when,
acquiesce?
when, a when, a when acquiesce.
When? Oh, yeah, when? Yeah. Okay, acquiesce. Oh, yeah, yeah. Acquiesce. Yeah, acquiesce means agree or accept. Yes, so we
Yeah,
have to.
but can you make a
Yeah.
when? Make a
When?
when.
When?
Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. When did he acquiesce to his friends?
Okay, to his friend's request.
Yeah. When did he? Yeah. When
Oh,
did? When did he acquiesce to his friends for help?
his friend's request for help.
Yeah, his friends request for help.
Can you make the question again?
When did he acquiesce for his friends' request for help?
Okay, what is your most important what is your most important word in that question?
As you said before,
Mm-hmm.
the when
How would it
the
sound?
question word.
How would it sound if you say when did he? How would those words sound together?
When did when did he?
Okay,
When did he?
let's give when. So let's make when long but also high. When did he? And then fall down.
When did he?
When
When
did
did he?
when did he acquiesce?
When did he acquiesce?
When did he acquiesce to his friend's request for help?
When did he acquiesce to his friend's request for help?
Mm-hmm. Pachu, can you try that? When did he?
When did he?
When did he acquiesce?
When did he acquiesce?
Okay. When did he acquiesce to his friend's request for help?
When did he acquiesce?
Acquiesce.
uh, When did he acquiesce to friend's request for help?
Okay. What is the answer, Pachu? After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
Alex, when did he
Yes.
acquiesce to his friend's request for help?
After some discussion, he finally acquiesced to his friend's request for help.
Okay. Let's move on to our next word, which is a
Mhm,
phrasal verb. Did you say
mhm.
something, Alex?
No, 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 no.
Okay. Uh, so we'll move on to our next word, our phrasal verb, die away. Pachu, have you seen
Oh,
that phrasal verb before? Die away.
No.
Okay, that means something it becomes weaker or softer over a period of time. It slowly becomes softer. It fades slowly. So Alex, have you seen that word before? Die away, that phrasal verb.
Yes, yes, yes,
You
yes.
have seen it before?
Means vanish, vanish. Means vanish or
Yeah, but
vanish or disappear.
yeah, but slowly, kind of slowly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So if I say the wind died away, what does that mean?
The what we call the strength of the wind or the
Hmm.
power of the wind is started to just get escalated or just goes down. You know what I mean?
Okay. Now that's a phrasal verb. Do you think that this is an abstract phrasal verb, or do you think that this is a literal phrasal verb, the way it's being used?
In my opinion, you, you can understand it literally.
Okay,
If
you're
something
right.
died, you
I
can
think you're right. So which word gets all of the power? If it's a literal phrasal verb, which word should get the
the
power? Die or away?
uh, I- as you teach us, die the first one if it's a literal.
Oh no, if it's literal, then it's the preposition that gets all of the attention. So it's the opposite of what you're saying.
Oh, am I confused? Okay, sorry for that. Okay,
Yeah, so
so
it's the opposite.
so
So it
okay, the opposite. Away, yeah, died away, yeah.
okay. And which syllable in away has all of the power? Is it the first syllable or the second syllable?
A,
A,
away, yeah.
away,
Mm,
away. Now, if we have the phrase "the wind died away," are there any other
mm.
important words there? Do you see any other important words?
The wind died away. I think it's three words. The wind died away.
Okay.
What
Yeah, but we're not going to emphasize died because we're emphasizing away. So it's just
the
really
away? So the wind and the way, yeah.
so now can you say that the wind died away?
The wind died away.
Okay, how would you add the two words as the to away?
The wind died away
Okay, the
at
wind
the
died away is the wind died
is the
away
at
is
the the wind died away is the
okay. Pachu, can you say that? The wind died away is
The wind died away as the.
okay, but the as the is very small. The wind died away is
The wind died as a, with.
try again.
Uh, the the wind died away as the.
Okay. What does that mean? The wind died away.
So the wind became slow.
Well, yeah, so it was very strong and then very slowly it became calm. Is that pretty
Yeah.
clear what that means? Died away?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. The final three words of the phrase are evening became calmer. Evening became calmer, Pachu. Which words do you think we
Yeah.
would emphasize in evening became calmer?
So the evening and the calmer.
I think all three really. Evening became and calmer. So let's do all three. Now, in the
Okay.
word evening, which syllable has all of the power?
Abe. Eve.
Eve, the
Evening.
first one. Evening, evening, evening,
Yes. First.
evening. Okay. How about
Evening.
in became? Became. Which word has all of the
It
power? Which
as
syllable?
a came.
Came. Okay.
Came. Yeah.
All right. So we'll emphasize that one. And how about calmer? Calmer.
Is a call. Call. Oh, calmer.
Calmer. Calmer. Okay.
CALM.
Okay, so we're doing this
Calm.
a little bit differently. All right. Now we're just going to give a high tone to all of our important syllables. So I'm going to make all of the important syllables red to symbolize that it's
Yeah.
a high tone, okay? Except the final syllable I'm going to make blue because that's going to be low because it's the end of our sentence. Okay, so the way this will
Yeah.
sound, so when you start high, you try to go down low until you get to another high one, and then you'll continue this step up and then step down and step up and step down. The wind died away as the evening became calmer.
The wind died away as the evening became calmer.
That's a big sound at the end. Calmer.
Okay.
Oh,
So the calmer,
hmm The
calmer.
wind died away as the evening became calmer.
Okay, the wind died away as the evening became calmer.
Okay, but it isn't evening, it's evening. That's the sound you've got to bring your tongue back a little bit. Your tongue has to go up. Evening.
Evening,
Oh, that was good. The
evening.
wind died away as the evening became calmer.
The wind died away as the evening became calmer.
Okay, Alex, can you try that? The wind died away as the evening became calmer.
the wind died away as the evening became calmer.
Okay, that was good. Uh,
Mhm.
Pachu, can you make a what happened when evening uh, become calmer question? How would you do that?
What did
What?
uh, what did why did the wind happen
Can you?
as the evening?
What happened? Make a what happened as the what
Okay,
happened?
what happened as the what what happened as the evening became calmer?
Right. All right. What is your most important word in that question?
Is what happened?
Okay, but if you had to choose a word between what and happened, which word would you choose?
Is what
Okay,
happened?
so let's give that a high tone, and then we'll move down. What happened?
What happened?
What
What
happened?
happened as the evening became calmer?
What happened is the evening became calmer.
hmm Can you try that, Alex? What happened as the evening became calmer?
What happened as the evening became calmer?
Okay, that was good. And so, Alex, what happened as the evening became calmer?
Oh, the wind died away as the evening became calmer.
hmm Pachu, what happened as the evening became calmer?
The wind died away as the evening became calmer.
Evening, evening, evening,
Evening.
Evening,
evening.
evening,
hmm
evening,
Evening. Okay,
evening.
evening. Alex, can you read the next example sentence that we have?
Number three, yeah.
Number.
He likes to bound. Yeah, he likes to ponder his ponder life. So he likes to ponder life's big question when he's alone.
Do you know that word, ponder?
I think means I came across this word before. I think ponder means like think or but think deeply
Yeah.
or
hmm
consider or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. Have you seen that word before, Pachu? Ponder?
Yes,
Yes, you've
yes.
seen it before. So you understand the meaning of the sentence. He
Yeah.
likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
Yes,
It's pretty
yes,
clear. Can
somewhat.
you say that? Can you repeat that? He likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
He likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
Okay. Pachu, the first four words, he likes to ponder. What do you suppose are the important words in that phrase?
It's a ponder.
No. Okay, only ponder?
Likes.
Okay, so we'll do likes. We're being a little bit more generous these days. And ponder. And in that word ponder, which syllable has all of the power?
Is ponder is the first.
Okay.
Ponder.
Now I've noticed I was going to talk to Alex about this, but I think you're doing it too. You're eating your P, but you should be pushing it out. Ponder.
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 You should feel the air come out. Because what you're doing is you're pushing it down and you're saying bonder, but you should be pushing it out and say ponder.
Ponder.
Okay, so can you say yen sound is eating sound or pushing sound?
Well, the N is kind of an eating sound, but that's not the problem. The problem is the P. You're eating it, but you should be pushing it out. Ponder.
Okay, so okay, ponder, ponder,
You have to push it out. I have to hear the air
and
come out of your mouth. Ponder.
pond,
Puh,
ponder,
puh, puh. Can you say puh?
pa,
Puh,
pa,
puh,
pa,
puh.
pa,
You have to push the air out, not eat it. Ponder.
ponder,
That was
ponder.
better. That was better. So we have he likes to
Okay,
ponder.
so
He likes to
yes, just I want to say
go ahead.
few words. So generally I do pee without pushing air, but I have realized that it should be yes, which yes, so it goes outside of our mouth.
Well, at the beginning
They
of a word.
ponder.
At the beginning of a word, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes. In the beginning of a word, yes. At the end of a word, you wouldn't really do it. So, like if you said lap, lap. Oh, you still do lap, lap, but not so much. It's really important at the beginning of a word, though. Ponder. He likes to ponder.
Okay. Yes. The he likes to ponder. Ponder.
That's better. Ponder. Make the O bigger. He likes to ponder.
He likes to ponder. Ponder.
Ponder. Ponder. Push the air out.
He likes to ponder.
Okay.
Ponder.
Alex, can you try that? I was going to mention that to you because you were eating your P, but you should be pushing it out. Ponder.
That's that's one of my problems.
Yeah, well, I think
P pronunciation is yeah.
I've noticed that most people who speak Arabic do that. But I thought there was a P.
Arabic, yeah.
I thought there was a P sound in Arabic. I thought you had a P sound.
There is,
Hmm.
there is,
But for some
but
reason,
we call it beh.
uh-huh.
But by the way, we have to have a puff of air when we pronounce it as well in Arabic.
But for
But
some reason,
I don't know why that's one of my obstacles. I have to overcome it. I will. Okay.
I used to have an Egyptian student, and I could never get him to say pizza. He would always say biza.
I I have a problem. I have a friend of mine. I tried to teach him how to pronounce a problem. Problem.
Problem.
He could not. Yeah, he couldn't.
It's hard.
So sometimes, yeah,
Mhm.
he likes to ponder. Life is. He likes to ponder.
Okay, he likes to ponder. He likes to ponder.
He he likes to ponder. Yeah.
Okay, Alex, the next three words. Life's big question.
Life is life is big question.
Which words are important in that phrase?
Uh, Life
Okay.
question, or I don't know.
It seems like
If you
all of
accept
them. It seems like all of
big,
them could be important.
yeah, I'm a bit confused. Yeah, life is big question.
Okay. Now, in the word the life and big are easy because it's one syllable, but in
Mhm.
questions, which syllable should
Questions,
be
questions,
questions? Questions.
is question, questions, the
Question.
questions. questions.
Uh-huh. So,
Mm.
if you have two big sounds like this together, you have to pause for a minute. Life's big questions.
Okay, make it easy. That make it easy for me.
That's good. Can you say it?
I like that. Life's big questions.
Mm-hmm. He likes to ponder life's big questions.
He likes to ponder life's big questions.
Pachu, can you say that? He likes to ponder life's big questions.
He likes to ponder his life's big questions.
Okay, is it big or big?
It's big, big.
Big. It's big. It's a large sound. It's not. It's not a little sound. Life's big
Yeah.
questions.
Mhm.
Life's big question.
Okay.
Okay. He
Yeah.
likes to ponder life's big questions.
He likes to ponder life's big questions.
Pachu, the final three words of that phrase are when he's alone. When he's alone.
When he's alone.
Which words do you think are important in that phrase?
Is alone?
Yeah, I think it's just alone. It's just that one word. That's two syllables. Which syllable has all of the power?
Lone.
Lone.
Alone.
Lone. Lone. Okay.
Lone.
So, how
Lone.
would you say when he's, if that's not important, how would it sound in a sentence? When he's.
When he's alone.
That's right. When he's alone. When he's alone.
When he's alone.
Mm-hmm. He likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
He likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
When he's alone.
When he's alone.
Can Alex? Can you say that when he's alone?
When is alone?
Mm-hmm. He likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
He likes to ponder life's big question when he's alone.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do, we're just going to give these all of these important sounds high tones, and then we'll try to fall down in between.
Okay.
So, let's see. How would this? Except the last one, the final big sound, we're going to make blue because it's the end of a phrase. So it would sound like this. He likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
He likes to ponder life's big question when he's alone.
Mm-hmm. That was good. Pachu, can you say it like that? All of them high, but then you fall in the middle. He likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
He likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
Okay. Alex, can you make a what he like to ponder when he's alone question?
What does he like to ponder when he's alone?
Okay. And what is your most important word in that question?
So the question word.
Okay.
What what does he? What
Okay,
does
so
he?
how does it sound if you say what plus does plus he?
What does he?
Yeah, and then we'll also give that a high tone. What does he? What does he?
What does he?
What does he
What does
like
he?
to ponder?
What does he like to ponder
What does he like
when
to
he's
ponder
alone? Yeah.
when he's alone? What does he like to ponder when he's alone?
What does he like to ponder when he's alone?
Okay. Pachu, can you try that? What does he like to ponder when he's alone?
What does he like to ponder when he's alone?
Okay. What is the answer, Pachu?
He likes to ponder life questions when he's alone.
He likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
He likes to ponder life's big questions, when he's alone.
Alex, what does he like to ponder?
He likes to ponder life's big questions when he's alone.
All right. Our final word.
So,
Go ahead.
so just I want to say some words.
Okay.
Just for example, in sentence we see likes and lives. So are they the same sound?
Is
They have,
what the same sound?
means likes or lives sound same,
Are you talking
similar
about the vowel
sounds?
sound? Or are you talking about the I?
Yes.
Are you
Yeah,
asking about
yes.
the sound of it or the duration?
No, the sound. Yeah.
Yes, they're the same sound. Life, like, it's the same.
Yeah.
Likes to ponder life's big questions.
Likes to ponder life's big questions.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Our final word for today is procure. Procure. Do you know that word, Pachu? Procure.
Yes, because it is
Hmm.
in our organization we use
Hmm.
it.
What does that mean? Then you know what
Procure.
it means. What does it mean?
So procure means something we should purchase uh, items.
Okay.
Procure.
But what are tell me about the length of the vowel sounds in that word. Yeah. Oh, it's actually yeah. Yeah. Are they long sounds or
You
short?
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long. It's a procure.
Yeah, one is short,
Procure.
pro, and
Yeah.
but the other one's very long. Procure.
Procure.
Hmm.
Procure.
Because the way I'm hearing you say it is like procure, and it doesn't. It's sort of the reverse of that. It's procure.
Procure. Procure.
Uh-huh. So here's our sentence. Our sentence is, well, since you're not reading Pachu, I'll make you repeat it, okay? He procured.
He procured.
He procured tickets.
He procured tickets.
He procured tickets to the concert.
He procured tickets to concert.
To the concert. To the concert.
He procured uh, tickets to the concert.
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting.
He procured tickets to the concert
Waiting.
after
After waiting.
after waiting.
He procured
After waiting.
he procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line.
He procured to the tickets after
After waiting
waiting
in line. After waiting in line. After waiting in
uh,
line.
after waiting a line.
For
After waiting
hours.
a line.
After waiting in line for hours.
After waiting a line for an hour.
For not an hour, not 1 hour, for hours, many hours. For hours.
For hours. For
He
hours.
procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
He procured tickets
To the concert.
to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
Okay. Alex, do you know that word procure? Have you seen that before?
Yes, I came across it before. Yeah.
Okay.
Procure, it's to get something after you put an effort, or it's not something not coming easy,
Okay.
or request an effort. Or, yeah.
Can you read the example sentence?
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
Now, the first three words, he procured tickets. What would you say
He
are important?
procured tickets.
What are the most.
Procured,
Go ahead.
sorry. No, no. Yeah, procured and tickets.
Okay. Now, that this word procured, which syllable has all of the power?
procured.
Cured. How about tickets? That's hard. Which one?
Tick, tick,
Uh-huh.
tick, tick, kits,
No, that would be tickets. Tickets. But
tickets,
it's
tickets,
tickets. So it's the first
tickets. So the first two, yeah,
it's the
first two.
first syllable. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you say that again and pay special attention to those two syllables? He procured tickets.
He procured tickets.
How would you add the words to that phrase?
He procured ticket
He
to the
procured tickets to the.
to the to the. He procured ticket to the.
He procured tickets to the.
He procured ticket to the.
Panchu, can you say
The
that? He procured tickets to the.
He procured tickets to the.
Mm-hmm. Panchu, the next three words are concert after waiting. Concert after waiting.
The concert after waiting.
And what do you think are the important words in that phrase? Concert after waiting.
The concert
Okay, concert.
and waiting.
Waiting, okay. And when you say concert, which syllable has all of the power?
The
Con. Concert. Concert.
concert. The
Concert.
concert.
Concert. How about waiting? Which syllable has all the power? Waiting.
Waiting.
Wait.
First.
Waiting. Waiting.
Waiting.
Concert.
Waiting.
Concert after waiting.
The concert after waiting.
Concert after waiting.
Concert after waiting.
Try to say it like one word. Concert after waiting.
The concert after waiting.
To the concert after waiting.
The concert after waiting.
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting.
He procured tickets to concert after waiting.
To the. He procured tickets to the concert after waiting.
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting.
Mm-hmm. Well, Alex, can you say that? He procured tickets to the concert after waiting.
he procured tickets to the concert after waiting.
Okay. What are the last words in that phrase, Alex?
In line for hours.
Okay.
For hours.
Now, this is funny because I've told you that words that go together all the time are usually you emphasize the first word, but not here. This is going to be an exception. This will be in line. In line.
Line.
In line.
Line, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other important words in that phrase?
In line. It's online. Line for hours.
Some people say online, and I hate that. But some people say it, and there's nothing I can do about it. But for me, it's in line, and I'll never say
Line, yeah.
I'll never say online.
No.
But some people do. It's not wrong to say online, but I really don't like that.
In line, yeah.
You can say it however you want, but it's just my personal thing I hate.
Yeah, sometimes I heard in the in movies. I hear that in movies, but
So it can be either way. Okay, and also hours. We're going to emphasize hours. Also, that would be another
hours. Yeah,
that would be another word that we want to emphasize. Okay, so we'll make this big, and then so that's after waiting in line for hours.
After waiting in line for hours.
Okay, so now we're just going to make this a little bit different than before, and we're just going to add high tones to all of our special syllables. And then in between our special syllables, we'll take a step down. Okay, but our final word will be blue because it's the end of a phrase. It would be low. So it will sound like this. He procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
Okay. Pachu, can you try that? He procured tickets.
He procured tickets.
He procured tickets to the concert.
He procured tickets to the concert.
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
Okay. And Pachu, can you make a what he procure after waiting in line for hours question?
Why did he procure
After.
after waiting in line for hours?
Okay. What is your most important word in that question?
What? It's what?
How would you say what plus did plus he?
What did 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 he?
Yeah, well, we'll give it a high
did he?
tone also. What did he? What did he? And then we'll go down.
Yeah.
What did he?
What did he? What did he?
What did he procure? Go up again. What did he procure?
Why did he procure?
What did he procure after waiting in line for hours?
Why did he procure after waiting in line for hours?
Okay, is it waiting or waiting?
Waiting.
What did he procure after waiting in line for hours?
Why did he procure after waiting in line for hours?
Can you try that, Alex? What did he procure after waiting in line for hours?
You want me to say it
Oh,
or
go ahead.
do you want me to say it
Yes,
or
please. Can you say it?
okay. Yeah. What did you procure after waiting in line for hours?
What did he? What did he?
What did he procure after he waiting in line for hours?
Let's try to give those syllables high tones. What did he procure?
What did he procure?
What did he procure after waiting in line for hours?
What did he procure after waiting in line for hours?
Okay. All right, what is the answer, Alex?
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
Pachu, what did he procure after waiting in line for hours?
He procured tickets to the concert after waiting in line for hours.
Okay. All right, that was it for today. Okay. So tomorrow we'll finish this book finally, and then on Saturday we'll try an experiment where so hopefully both of you can join at the same time you joined.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's like 2.5 hours ago that we started. Okay. So that's the time
tomorrow,
that I would hope that you would be there.
Yeah, tomorrow will be the same time today, yeah?
Yes, but that would be the final chapter of Dracula. But then on Saturday we'll try an experiment where we just practice pronunciation for like 3 hours. I don't know how long it will take, but we'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
So
what? Yes, Pachu?
So we are doing tomorrow or today?
What?
We are doing tomorrow or today comic book.
Tomorrow? Or what are you saying today?
The comic book Saturday.
Saturday.
comic book Saturday.
Okay, Saturday. Yeah.
So that would be Saturday for you. That would be 5 o'clock in the morning,
Yes, because it is Friday today.
right? Oh, wait,
Oh,
Friday.
right. Oh, yeah. For you, it is. For me, it's. Oh no. So that's Sunday for you. Sunday morning. Is that okay?
Yeah, it is. Yes,
Okay.
every day I'm ready.
You're
No
ready.
problem. But yes, today is Friday
Okay.
here
Yeah. For me,
in
it's
Nepal.
still for me it's still Thursday. That's why. That's so confusing. Okay. So, but in two
Yes.
days. So tomorrow is the final chapter of Dracula. We'll do
I
what
see.
we did today, but then on uh, the next day following tomorrow, that will be comic
Yeah,
book. We'll
it
try comic
then
book.
it will be Sunday. Yeah, Sunday
Okay,
we are
Sunday morning.
reading new chapter. Sunday
Right.
morning.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you everybody who participated today,
Okay.
and thank you for your questions and comments, and thank you for pressing the like button and subscribing and all that wonderful stuff. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Okay.
Thank
Thank you,
yeah,
sir.
Goodbye.
thank you.
Bye bye.